what I'm saying? So you gonna take this 25 and shut up or what? You know what I'm saying? And
Now I agree with you on that, man. Like, like I never made 100,000 or anything like that. The most I made was probably like 20,
yeah, and he was
25.
happy as heck.
Happy as hell. Like, man, I can't believe I'm like,
Yeah, for us, yeah. Me, hey, you happy like you doing it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. So, question for you is like, you played how many years professional overseas?
13, 12 overseas.
12 overseas. And how many different places did you play at?
I got to recount. I done lost count. I played in 10 countries though.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I
And
doubled back to teams twice. Like I played in Kiev two different stints. I played in
mhm.
Ukraine three times, but I played in Kiev back to back. I played in New Zealand. I played two different stints with different times. So I played in a couple countries like 3 years on different teams like that. But I was going where the money was.
Yeah, I feel you.
I
I
went to
feel
Iran. You know what I'm saying?
you.
I went to Iran, man. I went to Cancun, Mexico. I had I had a cup of coffee in Venezuela, got up out of there. You know what I mean? So that count, but not really.
Hey, it makes sense, man. Like I always wanted, like when you travel, boom, boom, boom. For me, it was like I played in Holland four straight years in Holland. If I would stay one more year, I could have took my test,
To
to
be yeah.
be a dual
Might
citizenship.
be over there now.
Yeah, but the problem with me was I just couldn't stand my coach after the fourth year. You know what I'm saying? Like he was one of those yellers and always just constant. You're on edge. I would have, I felt like I would have Latrell Sprewell that nigga, like, dude, if you'll shut your old ass the fuck up. So
Right.
by the third year, you just like, we was winning. So we won the championship, my first year. We won like the cup championship my next year. And then the third year, we went to the finals and lost in game 7. And by then, I was like, all right, dude, I'm tired of this shit. I can't take it. These niggas still just, yeah, 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 just all the time.
You
I
got
was
that
like,
pressure.
yeah, just man, I don't want to deal with this every day.
Right.
Like give us a break. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's a
Like
work
shit.
environment.
Yeah. So like I'm here for 10 months. You yelling for 10 straight months. I can't take it. So,
Right.
you know, you play for you, you play 13 years pro ball. You're 35,
Yep.
what happens next for you? Or two part. And when did you know it was time to hang it up?
Uh well, I was at home and the first thing I did, I said, I had a son, so now I got my son. What happened is I came home. I never came home for Christmas. That's number one.
Okay.
I never did until I did. I came home one year in 2010 from Ukraine for Christmas break, and I didn't want to go back.
I
I
feel
didn't want
you.
to go back, bro. Like, and I had held the team hostage and got more money like that. I was like, man, I just retired, bro. I'll retire. And they was like, come back. And they gave me the money I asked for. Like that,
Okay.
I had never done that before. So that was cool to go get some more money in the middle of the season. Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, it makes
But
sense.
but that coming home, it now I got a son. So what I said was I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna play in January. I'm gonna play the second half because in New Zealand the season starts then. The season
Mm,
starts like training camp. I never went to the training camp out there, none of that. But I said, you know what? I go out there early and just get all the money and go to New Zealand and make them and do that. When it came time, I wasn't training hard enough. Like
mm,
I just all my life I trained so hard, and then now I'm not training.
mm,
So I'm not training at the level that I know I need to be at.
mm,
So it was like a two-part thing. It was like, um, it's time. It's time because now my family is situated here.
mm.
I did what I had to do. I got a house. Uh, now I'm no longer playing for money.
Okay.
Like I'm not playing for money no more. Like you know how it is in your career. At some point, it ain't. Look, the love is there. All that's cool. but what's the cheese talking about? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Now I'm at the stage in my career where the money don't move me. It's just the love. So it's just the challenge and whatever of doing that. And you know, once you don't feel like training, and once you don't feel like getting up, running sand dunes, you know, I'm not no. My game was predicated on picking up, like you talked about. So how am I gonna be a guy that can't pick up full court now? My last game was a championship game. I picked up full the whole game.
Right,
So
right,
now this is
right,
that's how I was able to last till 35. I wasn't playing like a 35-year-old.
right, right, right,
I'm
right,
picking up full at 35. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
I didn't had a game. I'm not like a big man where I could, you know, rebound, bully, this, that, and the other. No, my game was predicated on energy.
Mm-hmm.
That meant I had to train and condition to be able to bring that game and present that game to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that this is not something that I was committed to, you know, anymore. But the love and the itch was still there to go hoop here and there, but I didn't have the desire as much, you know what I mean, to put that work in.
True, true. That makes sense. Like I said, I think when you lose that fire, it's that time, you know.
Yeah.
I, I felt the same way when I was with my son. Like when he was born, I was in Estonia. I came back and he was just being born. And like, you know, when I held him, I went home for Christmas and I held him. I was like, man, I don't want to let you go, dog. You
Yeah. Yeah,
know?
the same thing, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. I was like, man, I don't
Same
want to let
thing.
you
That's
go, man.
exactly. We share the same stories, man. When
Yeah,
you
yeah.
grinding like this, and then you know, like I had my wife, my daughter was born in Europe, so that was different because I had my wife and daughter together. But when my son was born, my wife, she was like, you know, she wanted to get herself going. She was like,
Right.
you know, I got to get going too. Like we out here just on your dime and on like what are we like? You know what I mean? So I couldn't fight it. So she had came home in '08, and I don't start playing until 2012. You know, so I had them, you know, a few years, but she was like, they had established their life home. You know,
Yeah.
now this is where we live.
No, that makes sense. Hey, it makes a lot of sense. I tell you that. You know, like where like like people want to establish their own thing, so we won't just because it's gonna be finished for you in a minute, and once you finish, what we gonna do? You know?
Yeah, I didn't have no clue about that.
Yeah.
I had no. Well, you know what I was thinking was, you know, you think of all these different things. I thought I was about to be a real estate mogul. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's the vision
Just
I
boom,
had.
yeah, right. Just boom, just real estate.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna throw on a suit, be a real estate mogul, get into that right there. You know,
Yeah,
I didn't know. Well, I was gonna be a sports agent. I had all these different ideas because I knew I could do. Like I felt like I could do all these different things. I knew the industry. I could work the industry. I know I didn't want to be a college coach because all that traveling, all that uncertainty, and all that. Now you picking up living in New Mexico and all that. So I was like, no, I respect that. I'm not doing that. You know. So when I first came home, I had to get my degree because of what I left early. So
right.
I had to go do a solid year. I went and did a full-time year of school like a student. I was the oldest dude in class. Like full-time student, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't living on campus, but I would dip. I had to go back to Northridge. So I'm living in Inglewood. I would get up, get on the freeway at 5:45. I got class 2, 3 days a week.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I did that for a full year just because I said I knew I got to get that degree.
Yeah,
Whatever's going on, I got to get that paper behind me. I'm too close. So I just put the whole full year in. But then obviously, when you put that full year into that, you ain't making no income like that. So I had to, you know what I mean? So then I had to start rethinking fast. But what I started doing was training because I was getting just so many referrals.
hmm,
People was like, you know, hey, I heard you work with Paul. I heard you know, you working with this one, you working with that one. So I was just getting so many referrals. But then the NBA referrals, yeah, that's cool because the industry had changed to where they was paying top dollar. But
hmm.
that's only for the summer.
Right, right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying? So it was like once they go back to school, then you start training kids, this and other. But then I started noticing like I realized that in this industry, if you want to make money, you gotta train kids that don't love the game. You don't
right.
like you. That's just what you gotta do. Because
Yeah.
the kids you want to train for real that inspire you as an artist, they can't afford it. They
Hmm.
can't afford it. Hold on real quick. Let me open it.
No, no problem. No problem. No problem. Cool.
Yeah,
So
when
like,
you that training it's uninspiring to me. Like
okay.
I didn't have the mindset. I can't train. I can't babysit. It's not babysitting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my training is only utilized and best when you inspire me.
Yep.
You inspire me. I'm like Dr. Dre or something. Like you can't use these beats with no weak rappers. Like you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
right. I
it's
feel you.
uninspiring to me. Like you can't even pay me. I don't want to be paid for this. So I realized I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you just going through it when you finish the game. You're trying to figure out like what's your place and everything like this. And then what actually happened is that this one program, Rockfish, I don't know if you remember it.
Oh, come on, Dave Benazaro
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Asian. I can't even think of a dude. God rest his soul. But yeah.
Yeah. He was with he did a deal for me. Courtside management. He was with them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was with Courtside. He represented me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When he used to come overseas and like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah. Yeah.
represented me on one deal. He got a
Oh,
deal done for me. Uh, he was what's his? Come on, man. We can't think we missed his name.
I know.
Mark
Hey,
Mayumura.
there we go. There we go. Because he
Mark
actually,
Mayumura.
yeah,
Yep.
Mark, like my last, well, not my last, was my last year? My second to last year overseas. He's the one that got me the deal. Like I was
Yeah.
in Estonia and then he got me the deal. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. Mark was into it. Yeah. Rest in peace. They brought me in, like they was practicing in Inglewood, and I was like, just in there. You know what I mean? And they was like, just come coach, try it out. So then in the process of seeing that, they actually had a kid that was on the shelf, and one of the coaches told the kid that he wasn't good enough. And that stuck with me. I end up hitting the dude that was Ryan Silver was starting to work with Earl Watson. They just starting this AAU program.
Mhm.
So I threw him on that team, but that sparked the fire in me to want to get my own program. And I
Mm.
got a Nike EYBL program the next year, and then started doing high school coaching. And that just started taking up so much time because, I just you get into it with these kids, man. Like the kids that really like want to make it, they inspire you. They inspire your work ethic, your preparation, and everything like that. So, I just got into the AAU space, and then I watched that flip and change, and I jumped up out of that. Jesus Christ, it's a bad space right now, because it's no longer the same. Like in that day, it was a real vehicle for development. Right now,
Yeah.
it's all transactional.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
nobody don't care. Everybody got their own trainer, this and that, and other.
That's
When I
very
was
true.
doing it, I was offering information and opportunity.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was gonna bring you some veterans, OGs to come in there, speak to you. You can make relationships. Like I was creating that people don't care about that. What time we play? I might play on the other team next week, dog. You know what I mean? Like, my mama, she talking to this dude. She dating him now. Like, all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't need me in this space. Y'all got
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? This ain't no development space. This ain't no mentorship space.
He
You
said,
know,
man, boy,
so
whatever, man. What time I'll be playing with somebody else next week, man.
yeah. It's transactional right now.
Right.
Development is thrown out the window. So I got up out of that and I just like it what I'm doing. I like the high school coaching, you know, let everybody know this is my last year doing that too. Just because
Okay.
I'm not like at the money I'm making and the energy I'm putting out, I just I was coaching so many years before my son got into it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then that pandemic, it freed me up, allowed me to understand and do some other things. So I gotta get into some other things too. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be a straight fan after this. Like I got one more year and I'm just in fan mode.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you 100%, man. 100% on that one. Um, that's why for me, you're right. I never wanted to be necessarily a coach, like you said. I didn't want to have to, move me and my son or whatever the case to some Willacoochee, Georgia. Nothing against
Right. You
Willacoochee,
know what I
Georgia,
mean?
but You know what I'm saying? I saw how it was in college. I saw the like if you was second dude, like the assistant, then you doing your thing. But if you that third assistant, fourth, you living with the
Scrambling.
other assistant, man.
Yeah, you scrambling.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm cool with that. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. So I went into a different field, 9 to 5. So, but well, like I said, Jay, man, that's a hell of a story, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the fact how your journey went, like it went a certain way and just kind of just it flowed to where it is now. Obviously never know him, but like the fact that you did 13 years overseas, you didn't even finish college. That's what I'm saying. Like you didn't went to 13 years overseas. People are like, if they don't finish college, they ain't even, because they always tell you agents, oh, we need game tape. We need tape, tape, tape. And you went straight to, CBA to overseas, man, which is crazy, dog.
Right. I
You
just,
know?
man, I got blessed.
Yeah,
And when
definitely.
I got my opportunity, they say success is opportunity and preparation. I was
Mm-hmm.
prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I was prepared. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm thankful for the journey I had because it forced me to learn how to do. Like I got stories of me getting a job. I got a job. My job in Poland, I got that myself, bro. I faked it out like I was another name. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what they want to hear. So they was like, yeah, the game tape. I shipped them the game tape. I
Right.
forgot what alias I gave them, but
Yeah.
I called up. Got somebody on the phone. They was like, well, send us the tape. I know what this tape gonna look like. The tape gonna look like it's supposed to look. Because what
Right,
I
right,
did with my tape, it wasn't no highlight tape. My
right.
tape that I would get out to get jobs was stretches of games.
Hmm.
So I'll show you like a quarter. In this quarter, I might have 12, 7, and 6 with 4 steals and 2 dunks. I only had 16 for the game, but you see it all compact. You saw it all. Like I would put my best stretch of basketballs together. I wouldn't just put the highlight because I'm gonna have 2 turnovers. I'm gonna have a blown defensive assignment. It's gonna, but okay, but you getting a chance. So that's why I knew I was gonna win because everybody else sending highlights. No, you getting to see you getting to see the good and the bad. So you can see if you could deal with this bad. Because look at all that good that's on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's not
no.
filtered. It's not filtered film.
Right.
These
No.
guys showing highlight tapes. Well, yeah, it's the best of you, dog. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, no. Well, I always think about like what happened, I feel like with high school especially is that ball is life thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying, where they show all the highlights. Kid might have 4 nice dunks, but he only got 10 points. But
And
they
they lost
showing
by
his
30.
yeah, and
And he
but
got
they
the
show
dunks and when the other dude subbed out.
yeah. And so they showing him dunking on like the backups. And they like,
Yeah,
he like, yeah, ball is life, after he dunk or
yeah.
whatever. I'm
Now
like,
they altering that. So that's like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Nah, see, I knew I was getting the job because I'm sending you to, I know you're gonna like this. I'm picking up full, I'm sprinting, I'm getting back, I'm talking. This is good footage right here. I'm picking the best of the, you know what I mean? My best little
Nah, I feel you.
quarters, and I will put my best 4 quarters together. But it'll be
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
games. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? But it'll be
I
the
got you.
best quarters where I was most active. You know what I mean? And I
No.
still them tapes used to go. So I got my own job, like calling over there, fake alias, negotiating bread. You know what I mean?
Nah, hey, like I said, man, like the overseas thing is a grind. It's a straight grind, and like you 100%, like man, like that's amazing what you did, you know. But I do have one last question for you, and then we can, finish it up. Right. Like every in life in general, we all go through kind of ups and downs of life. Obviously some are lower than others, some are higher than others. So in your lowest time, like with hoop or after ball or whatever the case was, like how did you get out of it? Was it God? Was it family? Was it both? How did you get out of like the lowest point that you was at?
It's everything you just said. The one thing about me, man, is that I looked at hoop as a pinnacle of my life because I wasn't a ballyhoo guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I even played, it was no more low for me. It was no more. It was just life and the figuring it out. And I always been a positive person. I've always had that positive spirit and belief that something was positive. I think it's the family, like you said, and I was raised in the church. I was raised when you go to church, visit the sick at the church, night service. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So that was the prayers of my family and that spirit and that positive. Like, I just was. I'm a positive guy, so
Mhm.
you know what I mean. And I don't look down on nobody with how they cope and how they deal with things. But I'm blessed because by the time I had got through with hooping, I reconciled what I was doing. I figured out, look how long I've been playing.
Yeah.
Look how long I've been playing. Like if I played 2, 3 years, this might be a different conversation.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because my experience is now I'm 27, trying to take care of a baby. You know what I'm saying? No bread, no
Right.
experience. And then the guys that's 27, well, they already got experience in the workforce. So they got a leg up in you. They've been
Hmm.
coaching for 3 years and you don't know nothing. You can't even get up on time.
Yeah.
Now, so you know what I'm saying? The worst thing you could do is play 3 or 4 years because that right there, you just stuck in like a middle ground of you don't even have a career to where your career is your resume.
Mhm.
Once you play between 8 to 10 years, you have developed a whole nother resume and a respect in the business.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So now that's an actual, you want to coach, you can coach right now off of that. You want to do something, we give it to you right now. You can coach in Europe. I got offers to coach in, not in Europe, but in New Zealand, to coach right away. Oh, we're going to help you run. You can run your own program. We'll give you 6 figures, set you up with a training facility. We like how you train. So I had so many opportunities and blessings. And I just, you know what I mean? And I think man, I still go to church with my grandma every Sunday
Mm.
that I can. I don't want to. Don't strike me down, God, because if we got we got fall league or something, people be like, man, he wasn't there. He was in the fall league game. But no, seriously, I'm not gonna be at home, and I'm gonna be if I'm at home, I'm getting up going to my grandma's house. I'm gonna be at church with my wife. It's just something that resets me. You know, it's
Mhm.
not that I'm just the holiest, most spiritual guy. I'm not trying to. I wish I could say that. But the most important thing has always been a reset for me. It's always been something that's allowed me to socialize with positive people and see life in a positive way. And I always looked at people had it worse than me. So like I said, hooping was for the longest I did was the pinnacle. Like I really don't even have my goal and aspiration in life is just to live happy and healthy. Like I don't have a thing like I want to be a billionaire. Maybe that's weak. Maybe he can downplay me, but I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not lazy. I get up every day with a work ethic and a mindset and desire to do great things. But I don't have no destination no more. I don't have like in those days, you got destiny because you haven't made nothing of yourself. So I had that, and me accomplishing that by working hard, by not being somebody who was getting AAU, by being told no, by having to make it, and by being able to provide for my family in this way. Because of that,
Mhm.
come on, man, like take me now, God. It's over. All right, bye. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell. I'm not afraid no more. It's nothing that's gonna make me sad. You know what I'm saying? Besides the death of my child, I haven't experienced that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's died in my family is older than me that matter. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if I experience the death of a child, that'll rock me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right. Right. Right.
Def-
Right.
I got my mother and father, my grandparents. They lived as long as they could. I got one grandma, she in her 90s, who I go to church with 2, 3 times a month. You know what I mean? So, man, but like you said, though, it is God and family. I think it's not going there. And what I would encourage people, don't go fall back on God and family. Build with it because then like it's always going to lift you. You're going to stay lifted up. You're going to
Mhm.
stay lifted. You built your whole foundation on rock. So now you ain't gonna be sinking in sand. You ain't gonna be down there worried because you could have worst case scenario. You always gonna get that hug. You always got something solid for yourself because
Mhm.
when you build your whole foundation on God and family.
No, definitely, definitely. Enough said on that one. Mic drop on that one. You know what I'm saying, Jay, man. Um, please let everybody know where they can find you, or if you on social media, if you, whatever you're doing. Obviously, people don't know that he has a podcast with Paul. You know, I've seen a couple episodes. They funny as hell together. You know, like they should do their own show. Like, I know Paul has this thing with Kevin, Garnett and that, but like you and Paul, y'all should keep doing that shit. That shit hella funny, man. I love it. I love the show.
Appreciate it.
You
Appreciate it.
know,
Appreciate it. I'm really, I'm not on Facebook. I was late to the game, but you can. I mean, I am on Twitter. That I got that, so I'm like, I'm holding on to that. Find that at Crowe CROWE Zone 5. That's my Twitter. And that's all. That's only where I'm at.
Okay. Well, like I said, if anybody can if they know you, they know you. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
always.
So
Anyway,
always.
yeah.
So you can follow me at Travis W. Reed. That's REED, Travis W. on Instagram and Facebook. I post all my social media stuff on both those sites. Um, I still got the Travis Reed Athlete's Journey merch. Like I said, feel free to DM or message me. I'll send it out to you. Got to get some new shirts. Like some different designs, but I still got the merch and I got the TR merch. I just don't have it on today, but I have it.
Right, you
Up.
supposed to have that stuff on.
Yeah, no, it was
Oh, so you gotta
it's
have your
cold. It was
boots.
cold. It was cold. You know what I'm saying? It was cold. I just wore a long sleeve shirt, but
Right,
I still have it. I still have it. And people have seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like they know if you look at my site, I have all the shirts and things like that on.
no
And
doubt,
so, like I said, like you follow me, and like I said, reach out, and like I said, appreciate y'all. Thank you, Jay Crow. We'll
no
talk
doubt.
to you later.
Much love, Trav.
All right, peace.